Hi there, folks. Well, for my birthday, my wife bought me this 0x Stratus, 0x Pro Stratus Plus foldable drone. I'd been wanting a drone for a little while just to shoot a bit more video about. I bought a very cheap drone from Kmart, which was absolute rubbish. So this one is about a mid-range. It's not too expensive. It's not like the DJI one would have been $2,000. This was nearly 600. So yeah, so it's a nice looking little thing. All folds up like that for carriage and then flips out again, and has a controller where you can run it. You run it through the controller with the smartphone or without the smartphone. The smartphone will show you what the drone's looking at and will record for you. It says that it scales down the video quality if you are recording through your smartphone. I'll show you some videos later and see what you think. There's a little bit of setup. The manual could be clearer, but I worked it out, and I think if I can work it out, probably anyone can. So we'll just go and have a bit of a look at it. There's no sound included with the recording, although just you'll see later with the iPad recording that the wind noise would be absolutely atrocious if it were to record sound. So I am just going to play a little bit of background music just so that it's not too bland and boring. But this is not my first flight, but the first one where I remember to record. Taking off on this thing is very easy. Once you figure out the buttons you got to press, it just goes up and hovers for a while. Now I'm still working out the controls here. And I've also noticed just a couple of times it's got out of control, and I'm wondering whether it is proximity to the power lines, because the other time it was pretty close to the power lines as well. So yeah, there was a set there. I didn't realise the larger ones there. So yeah, maybe that was it. I didn't actually realise I was that close to those because they're a bit back off the road. But it was all pretty good, sort of, until I got under them here. And then yeah, she just kind of gone, well, now I'm doing what I want to do. Till I made it hit the deck. So this is that same flight from the perspective of my wife with the iPad. Now the previous video we were watching was recorded on the drone camera on a SD card. This is from a 12 or 13-year-old iPad. So once again, I've reduced the sound on that quite a bit. You can probably hear a little bit of noise in the background, just wind noise. It's just atrocious. So I really was still coming to terms with the controls here and figuring out the sticks. And there's, like I said, the manual's not very intuitive. There's kind of, they say, oh, here's option A and here's option B, and then option B is the default. And I figured I'd just use that, try and keep it simple. And I'm really quite happy with the way this one worked out. So we'll just, you know, it's sort of flipping and flopping, but it was really quite windy. So I don't know whether that had anything to do with it, but I was just trying to gauge the controls, and yeah, once she's kind of got away from me there, it was not much I could do but push the sticks down and hope it didn't hit too hard. So this is another flight. I've got a little bit more control over it this time. I seem to be getting better at it. I realise there's not a lot to look at here. It's not really a very interesting area, but I just wanted a big wide space where I could muck around for a bit without any chance of losing it. Just trying to slowly change direction and rotate it just to get a bit of an idea on how quickly it moves. It does have a slow speed as well as a fast speed, but I couldn't figure out how to change it, which was rather annoying. Now this thing is limited to 120 meters of height. Of course, I never went anywhere near like that. I had it pretty low the whole time. You can see when I came in to land, I had a bit of trouble because the button I thought you pushed to make it land automatically went through a bit of a process first, and I panicked, and the first time I used it, I didn't trust it after that, but I've since reread the manual for about the 20th time and realised if it's below 15 metres when you push it, it actually goes up to 15 metres and then comes back down again. So I didn't realise that, and all I could see was my drone flying away. So I had a bit of a muck about here trying to load it. Trying to load it, trying to land it. There's my launch pad, is our cutting board sitting on top of the drone case, so I'm here trying to get it in, and then I thought I might have a bit of fun with my wife. I was looking at it through the iPad. We'll see that footage next. Yes, here I am, still trying to bring it down on that breadboard. Before just giving up and done with it. Here he is on that same flight once again from the iPad. You can hear even with the volume reduced, there's still a lot of wind noise. So we're getting a little bit more control of it now. It is quite tricky to sometimes remember which way it's facing when it's a long way from you. You can't actually see the head of it, and I've taken the smartphone off it at this stage. It's just recording on the internal camera, on the internal SD card. I wasn't sure whether just cut out the middle of this, whether you'd be bored or what, but I mean the whole video is only 12 minutes long and we're over 9 already, so there's only 3 to go. So we'll just get to the end of this section here. Come back in and try and find that breadboard. always going to go forward as the drone's facing. So if it's over there. Okay, so by this stage I'd figured out that part of the reason I was having so many troubles is because I was trying to steer it with all the sticks, where all I really needed to do was push it to go forward and rotate it in the direction it needed to turn. And once I figured that out, well, things got a lot simpler. I could do great big loops and bring it straight back to where we needed to be. So yeah, it's a little bit more fiddling to go, and yeah, let me know if you want me to shoot a more detailed video on the drone and the bits and pieces and how to set it up and everything, because they're a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing with it, but I would like to pick a less windy day. Oh, and by the way, this here is the footage. This is the same as the first flight we saw, only this is what was streamed down to the smartphone. So this is what I could see on the smartphone while I was flying the drone, and this is also what it recorded. So yeah, I use an iPhone 11, so I just moved it onto my Apple account and download it from my computer that way. Anyway, let me know what you think, and I'll see you all later. Thank you.